get some insights on the news shaping the markets, sort of the year that was, too. Peter Tuchman is here, Senior Equity Floor Broker at TradeMots. Thank you so much for being here.
Welcome and good morning, everybody.
What a year it was, 2024. No one expected back-to-back incredible years.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
How did that happen?
Yeah,
you know
right?
what? I think that there is so much enthusiasm around the market. I think that, in a post-COVID world, we've seen millions and millions, 40 plus million new traders and investors coming into the marketplace. There's a whole new generation of all eyes on. I just came back from Dubai. I was a keynote speaker at a conference there, and the enthusiasm, people, thousands of brokers from all trading Forex, trading equities, trading futures. I've never seen anything like it. People from 18 to 25 with such attention and excitement and hunger for markets. So I think that's a contributing factor. It's the new generation, the democratization of the trading community, right? Which started during COVID, and I think it's in a year where the market is up, where you've got a lot of excitement around crypto, and you obviously look. It's been a difficult year. For a year that is up 26% as you described, and you've hit record highs in NASDAQ, 20,000 on the NASDAQ. The day we hit 20,000 on the NASDAQ, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Apple, and Meta all hit record highs, not 52-week highs, record highs. So that's been an unbelievable push for the market. NVIDIA, AI, that's a revolution going on.
Yeah, that's what was going to be my next question. I mean, I definitely think that AI revolution that really started in 2023, but it really propelled into 2024, and it's still going, right? I mean, into 25?
So think about it. February 2023, NVIDIA, no, it was 23. February 2023, NVIDIA was trading at $108. February 24, NVIDIA was trading at $924.
Yeah.
June of 2024, NVIDIA came out with earnings. The stock went from $900 to $1,200, split 10 for 1, and had a $50 billion buyback, and is now trading $140 post-split. So,
at new highs again. That's new highs
again.
So people fully understand after that stock split, that is a record new high.
You know what? I'd like to say one thing about 2024 is there have been 7 pullbacks in 2024, okay? We had one in April after the best first quarter since 2019. We had one in July, which lasted about a week. It was maybe a 3% pullback. We had the August 5th crash in Japan, which was Black Monday, which we scraped back those losses immediately upon hitting them on Monday morning. We spent the next 2 weeks making August a really solid month. We had the first week of September, which was the worst week for tech since COVID, but the second week of September was the best week for COVID. That kind of describes 2024 in a nutshell. Is we've got the extremes, the greatest week, the highest stock, the worst week, all that kind of stuff, and then we had October 5th. That's about, and then we had this past Wednesday, right? When the Fed sort of took people by a storm.
Right.
That's about 7 pullbacks, no crisis, no crashes, just pullbacks and consolidations, and you would call sell-offs. And each one of them was rebuffed by a way stronger bullish approach to the market. That shows me that there's a bid in the market. You've been here for a long time like me. In the old days, we used to call that, there's a tight bid in the market. You don't have to go down 10% to find solid buy side.
Right.
Down 3%, you're going to find it. And
they're buying. They're buying
and that's
the
what
dips.
We saw on Wednesday when the market was down.
They're buying the dips.
Exactly.
They see that as opportunity. They see it's a chance to get that name that they wanted at a cheaper price.
Exactly.
Right. And crypto also brought excitement, because we had the approval of the ETFs, right?
Correct. Well, that was one part of it. And obviously the most recent thing is Mr. Trump putting aside the prudent reserves, $21 billion. He announced here in the boardroom that he is going to put together a prudent reserve that, like we have with petroleum, or like we have oil reserves in the U.S., he's going to put together a prudent reserve for Bitcoin in the United States, $21 billion. So, and then he said he's going to announce that the United States is going to be the new kingdom of crypto. So I think these two things gave it a little bit of a boost in the last week or so.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, most of the guests that came on really wanted Trump to win if they were crypto folks.
Yes.
Because they felt that he was going to be a more crypto-friendly, supportive for regulation.
And he is.
Yeah, and he's already shown that now.
Absolutely.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I think he was just buying some Ethereum yesterday. I was reading about that. So, we've seen incredible performance there. So, when you think about what to buy for the new year, I was listening to Sam Stovall this morning, who was saying sometimes the winners of last year, and he was going way back, but they go into the new year. Those winners just keep winning. He was noting some of those. Are you going to be doing some of that? What are you going to do for the new year?
Look, for me, if the story has not fundamentally changed in a stock, and you take those days where the market reverses and you have a shopping list and you buy those, that's the opportunity you were talking about. I think the winners of this year are going to continue unless, look, there's only one wild card. The market has had everything thrown at it and nothing has broken this market.
Right.
We had 2 wars this year. Wars that related to a commodity like oil. That didn't break the market. We had the whole issues with unemployment, with interest rates, with inflation, all that stuff going on, and the fight between the Fed and the rest of the economy, that didn't break this market. So the only thing that is the wild card is Mr. Trump, right? And while we do see a lot of support for him in the marketplace, he cannot take credit for the last 4 years of amazing market. Hopefully he's not going to throw a wrench in that market. We do have one of the things that made the sell-off on Wednesday, the Fed day last week, more aggressive was that during the news conference, he did talk about the fact that Mr. Trump is a little bit of a wild card relative to tariffs in China.
Tariffs.
Our hope is that he obviously surrounds himself by people. One of the, Dan Ives, who we always call to, his fear was that was going to be the one thing that could cause a bit of a disruption in the market if Mr. Trump gets aggressive about tariffs and China. His hope was that by bringing Elon Musk into the inner circle of his world, that he was sort of going to carve out a protective boundary against the Mag 7, that Trump is not going to go after that in a tariff way. And so we're hoping that may continue on into 2025. But you don't know. He is a wild
sometimes
card.
the tariff talk is just tough talk to get the other countries to sort of,
100%.
Get on board with some of the ideas that he has pertaining to immigration and things like that, right?
I agree.
And so you did mention commodities. You mentioned oil, right? Oil's behaving just sitting at 70.
Yeah.
That's not been the play. That's for sure.
But it has been over the year, depending on how aggressive the war in the Middle East was and the war in Ukraine.
Right.
Right. And now it's kind of settled down.
So do you have favorites or best ways to play the market? I know you don't give stock recommendations.
I can't give you stock picks.
But would you buy indices? Would you buy ETFs?
Look, I'm still a huge fan of the S&P 500. I think the way it acts is extraordinary. I'm actually, even though I'm late to the game, I like Bitcoin. I like cryptocurrencies right now. I surely wouldn't recommend anyone playing any of those meme things. Just be careful with that. That's a scary game. But I think that you've got to play the game where there's support. I think Mag 7 is still super strong. NVIDIA is still a great game. I think Tesla still has room to go up, even though, and is as amazing as it's acted.
Right.
Okay, Bitcoin, and I'll go with that.
It was interesting because yesterday I was talking to David Dietz, who's a regular guest of ours. He was talking about quantum computing, and he had heard from someone who was talking about quantum computing that don't worry, they can't hack Bitcoin. That's still at least 5 years away. And he said, that doesn't make me feel very good. Right? When you hear phrases like that, do you hear stuff like that? I mean, that makes people nervous when they hear that.
Look, I think think about this year. I think there's nothing that is impenetrable to hacking. Therefore, everything that we've seen out there to protect us, any level of cybersecurity, there is somebody out there trying to break that stuff down.
And that's why those cybersecurity names do so well.
That's true.
Right? I mean, how about your friend Dan Ives? I mean, he's a friend of our network. He's on here all the time.
Yes.
I mean, what's he been touting? I mean, he loves Apple. He loves Palantir.
Yes.
He loves Zscaler and Microsoft and MongoDB,
and
and
MongoDB,
Salesforce.
It's one of his favorites. Yeah.
You've had some great conversations with him. He's still a real tech bull, right?
Big tech bull.
Yeah.
And he says that any pullback you see is just an opportunity.
Yeah. All right. Peter Tuchman, great to see you.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
2025 is going to be a great year.
All right.
And we've had a great 2024.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And happy holidays to everybody. Thank you, Peter Tuchman.
My pleasure, guys.